Now, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, G-Man Aviation. Now in today's video, we are back in the flight simulator today, checking out the beautiful Airbus A400. Now this plane is a lot like the Boeing C-17 we saw in the last video, kind of in the same design and military-ness of the plane. And this is kind of the Airbus model, kind of like the Boeing one. So basically the counterpart of the Boeing C-17. I don't know which one actually came first, but they both serve a purpose for military and different types of government uses. Now you can see that this is from Airbus Defense and Space, so not the normal Airbus branch that makes the A320. You're getting a much different, kind of more focused on military defense and space stuff with this Airbus kind of model here. So let's check out the A400M and kind of see what it has to offer. Let's get into it. So now here we are in the cockpit of the A400. You can see that this cockpit actually almost reminds me of the A380 in a sense, kind of from the displays, but definitely the center one here, because of course we do have 4 engines. Now these 4 engines are actually turboprop. So turboprop is not a jet engine, as it is continues of a propeller spinning to create the thrust. Now we can see we do have 4 of them here in our cockpit. You can see all of them on the display. You can see how they all show up here in the beautiful little flight display here. They actually throttle at like very, very kind of lower RPMs, only 700 RPM for propeller engines. So you can also see it just always complains after we stop doing it, as we have takeoff speeds are not inserted. Now this does look almost like your standard Airbus commercial plane from the front and the instruments that it has to offer. But when you look up, you'll see a lot more knobs, a lot more dials, more things to interact with, like this radio panel over here, as well as a few other buttons on the joystick, as well as more other things here. Now you can see, very, very interestingly, in the center again, kind of looks almost like a classic Airbus. You have your flaps handle over on this side, and again, like the A380, you have this kind of mouse design here that you put your hand around and control this pointer on your screen. So very much like the A380 in a sense there. Now looking up top is where we get more towards the A300. This plane kind of just reminds me of a bunch of different Airbus planes kind of mushed together. So it has the older A300 look of this panel where it kind of goes up and then swoops to the back of the design. And we also have a modern A380 look in the kind of avionics and how the plane kind of operates and how the computers in the plane work. Very interesting there. So definitely a very large mix of kind of Airbus working together to make a good military and defense plane. So most of the cockpit, mostly just normal cockpit stuff, how you start up your plane, everything else, fuel panel, engine panel. We're going to check out the rear of the plane and see what we have in there. So now from the cockpit here, you open this kind of lavatory style door, and you have to head down the stairs here. It's a little hard with the camera, but you can see this is the main door here, and you can see out that little window. Now here in the back of the plane, you can see a bunch of jump seats for, of course, military personnel that would be conducting different activity, different deployments that you need to fight on or do different military things with them. You can see we have a few little windows here. Not every single one is a window, but some are. And you can see near the back of the plane is this kind of hatch thing. Now this is where you could potentially have paratroopers jump off of the plane and kind of go and parachute down off of it. Let's go back to the cockpit and see what we can do with the interaction of the plane. So now you can see the rear main cargo door and the front door are now open. Now this plane is made, or this model is made by Any Builds. Of course, we recognize all of this kind of operating system here with the Airbus Beluga, the A330, and the A320 version 2. Now let's just take to the skies and see what this plane has to offer. So now here we are, we have taken off, as I really couldn't figure out how to get this thing moving on the ground. I don't really know what is up right now with the current model. It looks a little wonky here, but I do not know what that is about. It might be just my flight simulator or my controls. Might be a little weird currently here. We do have a heads-up display, which is a blue color, probably because of the cloud coverage and the light that we have. But you can also see the outside of the plane, and you might be wondering what this thing is. It's actually a little connector that is for aerial refueling, so planes can refuel in mid-air. So if you're flying across a very long point, you don't have to really deal with any landing and stopping and fueling up. You could just fuel up mid-air. It's very useful for military operations. This plane flies very nicely here. You can see it flies very good for the model that it has. Let's go and try to come back for a landing and see how this plane is doing. Oh, we're already stalling here, but let's head back to Area 51 and see if we can do it. So now here we are coming into Area 51's runway. We are a little wonky here on the approach, but we're still going to continue with it because we have a pretty long runway here. This is our lovely A400M coming in for a beautiful landing. We are about to land very nicely here. Now we have our reverse thrust going on our beautiful turboprop engines. As you can see, we have stopped off of the runway perfectly here, very nicely. Very nice landing done on the A400. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about what Airbus does in the military and space kind of area. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and have a great day.